welcome. You're joining me, Padmaja Joshi, live from Mumbai on this special edition of India Up Front. Just about 60 minutes left for that mega exclusive on Times Network, where the Prime Minister has spoken to Times Network's Navika Kumar and Sushant Sinha. Just a few hours left for the third phase of polling at a very critical time. People are saying that this perhaps has been the most fractious part of the election campaign, perhaps driven by worries, they say, experts claim, of low turnout in the first two phases. Is the Prime Minister worried? What does he say about the attacks on him of communalizing the entire campaign? Will he hold on to his attack of Congress bringing in the Muslim quota when he says the Congress is engaging in appeasement? We are going to get you each and every bit of all the important topics that matter in this election and beyond. Joining us will be Navika Kumar and Sushant Sinha to give the story behind the interview. You'll watch the interview in 60 minutes, but what went on behind the scenes, and an editor's roundtable to decode exactly what the messaging. Let's get you started with perhaps the biggest charge that is leveled at the Prime Minister, that he is a dictator. Some people even say that India is a democratic autocracy, that we have elections, but they barely matter because we are all under dictatorial rule and we don't even know it. Here's what the Prime Minister said.
पुतिन बाबा हैं, आप तानाशाह हैं, तमाम तरह की चीजें कही जाती हैं। और ये इकोसिस्टम सिर्फ भारत में नहीं है, यहाँ से लेकर विदेशों तक एक इकोसिस्टम चलता है जो कहता है आप हिटलर हैं, आप तानाशाह हैं, आप आएंगे तो ये बदल जाएगा, चुनाव नहीं होंगे। इन सब चीजों को आप कैसे देखते हैं कि एजेंसियां भी आपने कंट्रोल कर ली हैं, तमाम चीफ मिनिस्टर आपने जेल में डाल दिए हैं।
हाँ, कि केजरीवाल जी को जेल में डाल दिया, हेमंत सोरेन को जेल में डाल दिया।
आप न्यूज रूम में आकर के सरकार बैठ जाती थी, क्या कभी चर्चा करोगे? टिक मार करो।
Well, this interview and those questions couldn't be more apt and couldn't be more topical, given even as we speak, ED is conducting searches on 6 areas across Jharkhand on aids of a Jharkhand minister. 30 crores, imagine, have been found. If Modi cracks down on them, is he a dictator? Let's take this across to the editors roundtable. Joining us is Group Editor, Times Network, Navika Kumar. We have Consulting Editor, Times Now Bharat, Sushant Sinha. R. Raj Gopal, and Senior Journalist, Editor ANI, Smita Prakash. Harshvardhan Tripathi, Senior Journalist, and also Senior Journalist, Neeja Chaudhary and Saban Naqvi. But Navika, I want to first ask you, because nobody naturally takes well to name calling. Did the Prime Minister get angry, upset when you asked him that he's being likened to Putin, Hitler, you name it?
Padmaja, the first thing that I want to share about this interview was the fact that, and I think Sushant will bear me out on this one, that the Prime Minister, despite the hectic schedules and the demands on his time, 4 rallies a day is what he's been doing on a daily basis for weeks on end, the Prime Minister was extremely relaxed and he was in a chatty, talkative mode. Not one question where you could feel an undercurrent where, he was getting tense or angry. You can feel these vibes, and we as journalists have interviewed so many people. You get to know when the other side is, there's the body language where there is a little tensing up of the muscles, and you get that vibe when you're sitting across the table. But we asked the Prime Minister all questions, and you saw that question that I asked him about Tanasha, Putin Baba, and dictator that he's being called, Hitler hai wo. And I asked him almost as if, this interview wouldn't be complete unless this question was asked, because it's a, part of a conversation in drawing rooms, in newsrooms, on the streets, and especially when you talk to opposition leaders. And the Prime Minister went on to speak on it. He was not at all offended by the question, but he went on to speak on it and gave a detailed example and contrasted thing, and spoke about the historical perspective of how governments have been running, and his own style, and he took that question head on, spoke about it, and there were questions, interjections, secondary questions, all of those asked, and not once did he flinch away or tighten up or grimace that what are you doing and why am I being asked this? Nothing of that sort. Absolutely open, and he went on to take the criticism that has been made against him and answered it right, point blank, striking it on the head.
हर्षवर्धन जी, जो आपने सुना, आपको क्या लगा कि वो तानाशाही के मुद्दे पर खुल करके बोला प्रधानमंत्री ने? पूरा इंटरव्यू तो ऑफ कोर्स 9 बजे उनका पूरा जवाब आएगा, पर एक सेंस मिला कि प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा कि भाई आपको लगता है तो ठीक है, बट फैक्ट्स जो हैं, अगर अभी झारखंड में रेड चल रही है तो वो फैक्ट्स जनता के सामने है। अगर कंप्लेंट आई है लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर ऑफ दिल्ली के पास तो क्या करे, नहीं करे क्या उसके ऊपर एक्ट? क्या वो तानाशाही हो जाएगी? हर्षवर्धन जी
देखिए, मुझे लगता है पद्मजा, ये इंटरव्यू और इसका ये एक सवाल ये थोड़ा सा ये भी बताता है कि इंटरव्यू पूरा होने वाला कैसे है। हालांकि वो 9 बजे दिखेगा, लेकिन एक बात तो तय है ना, इस देश में कोई भी पत्रकार देश के प्रधानमंत्री से आप तानाशाह हैं क्या, आपके ऊपर ये आरोप लगते हैं, ये सवाल पूछ सकता है और प्रधानमंत्री उसका जवाब बिना किसी नानुकुर के, बिना किसी हिचक के देते हैं। ये सबसे बड़ा, जिसको हम कहते हैं ना कि आखिर कैसे तय होगा कि देश में डेमोक्रेसी है या फिर ऑटोक्रेसी हो चुकी है, चुनाव सिर्फ देखने भर के लिए। अगर प्रधानमंत्री चाहते तो इस सवाल को, उस सवाल का जवाब नहीं देते, इस सवाल को कहीं और घुमा फिरा कर ले जाते। लेकिन जो नविका जी बता रहे हैं, इसका सीधा सा मतलब हुआ कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी इस सवाल का जवाब देश को सुनाना भी चाहते हैं, क्योंकि आज की तारीख में सबसे ज्यादा इसी की चर्चा होती है।
मैं बस एक चीज जोड़ूंगा पद्मजा, प्रधानमंत्री ने क्या जवाब दिया ये तो 9 बजे पता चल ही जाएगा, लेकिन 2 पत्रकार उस व्यक्ति को जिनके ऊपर आरोप है कि वो तानाशाह हैं, उनके मुंह पर पूछ के आ रहे हैं कि आप तानाशाह हैं या नहीं है, ये आरोप लगता है आप पर। और वो दोनों पत्रकार इंटरव्यू भी पूरा करते हैं, घर भी जाते हैं, खाना पीना खाते हैं, सोते हैं, अगले दिन दफ्तर में जो है वो आकर आपसे बात कर रहे हैं, उनमें से कोई जेल नहीं गया है। तो आपने कितने ऐसे तानाशाह देखे हैं जो मुंह पर ये सवाल पूछने देते हैं कि आप तानाशाह हैं या नहीं, और उसके बाद भी आप जेल नहीं जाते? तो ये अपने आप में बहुत कुछ बताता है। जी हर्षवर्धन।
नहीं, मुझे लगता है कि ये आपने ठीक कहा, और ये कई बार ये सवाल इस तरह से
पूरी दुनिया बैठ करके डाइसेक्ट भी करती है।
नहीं, मुझे लगता है डेमोक्रेसी हम दुनिया में जितनी वाइब्रेंट डेमोक्रेसी है, शायद दुनिया में ऐसा कोई देश होगा। मुश्किल यहां क्या है, हमारे अपोजिशन पार्टी वो पब्लिक से कनेक्ट नहीं बना पा रहे, और उनको लगता है उनका कनेक्ट नहीं बन पा रहा है तो हम क्या करें, हम चलो दूसरे का कनेक्ट तोड़ते हैं। वो हम लोग बहुत बार बहुत सीधी सी साफ सी एक बात है कि अपनी लाइन बड़ी करो, वो ज्यादा अच्छा है, लेकिन दूसरे की लाइन छोटी करने में सारी मेहनत लगती है, उसकी वजह से ये सारी डिबेट चलती है। मुझे नहीं लगता कि आप इस देश के लगातार शानदार मैंडेट से चुने हुए प्रधानमंत्री को हिटलर या तानाशाह कह सकते हैं, ये कहना ही नहीं चाहिए। लेकिन अच्छा है कि कहा गया, तो सवाल पूछा गया और उसका जवाब आया।
Sushant, Sabha, do you think he took it on the chin? What you have heard, and it was a direct question. There wasn't really any, beating around the bush. You think he took it on the chin?
Obviously, look, he's tweeted about the interview, so he wants people to see it. His last television interview to another network got apparently 8,000 views. So he needs it to be seen, and I hope you get more views than that. So, but I don't think that's adequate. As a journalist for many years, you have to be able to have an open press conference. You can't just have interviews with journalists who beyond the point will not push the envelope. And that is a fact. He has not had an open press conference. As a member of the media, I will always say that. Where is the open press conference? Even Manmohan Singh.
On this, Sabha Naqvi, I have a question to you. Rahul Gandhi doesn't even allow anybody in his party to speak to us. both
So that's
Sushant
what
and I
you're
are
talking
part
about.
of a
Rahul
boycotted
Gandhi
list.
is not the prime minister. He's an opposition leader. He's made a call.
But
and I'm not
he's
even
a
justifying
contender.
it. I'm not
He's a
justifying anything.
contender, my friend,
No,
right
you
now.
cannot- you
Right
cannot
now,
do- that is
Sabha
wrong.
Naqvi,
You asked
both
me
he
about
and the Prime Minister are
and I'm giving you-
contenders in this election.
Navika, Rahul Gandhi does speak to the media in various locations where he goes, which is all of it is not scripted, and I'm sure his conduct with the media is not
नहीं, पर
good
वो
all
वहाँ
the
क्या
time.
कहते हैं
I'm
जो
not-
आदमी उनके
but the
मन का
point is
सवाल ना
there is
पूछे
no
उसको
open
कहते हैं ये
press
देखिए बीजेपी का
conference.
सवाल पूछ
It's a
लिया
recorded
ये प्रेस
fact.
कॉन्फ्रेंस होता है
And-
बीजेपी
नहीं,
क्वेश्चन ये प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस है
and I would have many follow-up questions. I don't know. The question is, you don't just ask something and wait for them to say, then you follow it up. No, counter question. That is how,
hold
in
your
my
breath,
world, they're
hold
done.
your breath,
And I'm
Sabha.
sorry.
The interview is going to
I don't know
play
how
out
to
in
feel it.
50
Just give me a
minutes
great
from now. Maybe, just maybe, for old time's sake, give us the benefit of doubt. For old time's sake, since we've been colleagues
I'm
for
saying
so
this
long,
is the PM person,
maybe
the PM
what you've
has-
already decided
The
that
last interview
cross-questioning hasn't happened. Has happened in this interview,
Good, we're
Sabha.
lively
So
about
take a
it.
deep
I'm glad
breath,
you can
alom
allow my
vilom.
friends to
But
be
let
heard.
me get in.
I'm
Let me get in
clearly in a
Smita, who's been
minority on
smiling.
this one.
Smita,
I'm-
Rahul Gandhi is more democratic than the Prime Minister, even though he does not allow any of his party members to come on times now. And he's certainly, and not for my lack of trying, has certainly never agreed to give me an interview. Smita, that makes him more democratic, and he's only a contender. The point that Sabha makes, how do you respond to that?
See, basically, if you ask 150 questions also, Navika, it will not satisfy a section of the media which has not got the opportunity to interview the Prime Minister in the past 10 years. You can ask 10, you can ask 150, you can ask counter questions. It will not. So there is no point seeking validation for old time's sake or for today's sake or whatever. There's just no point in doing that because it's not going to. And then you will be labeled, not just by you will be labeled, you are being labeled. Whoever interviews the Prime Minister in the past 10 years is Godi Media, has done access journalism, and the beacon of perfect journalism are people who have attended press conferences. We've all attended press conferences in the past. It's not as if we haven't done it. We've attended press conferences. We've asked questions of prime ministers in the past. What happened was in 2014, Modi decided when he became Prime Minister, he decided to change the rules of engagement. Now, if those rules of engagement, every Prime Minister changes the rules of engagement. How many interviews or how many press conferences did Narasimha Rao address? Once Babri Masjid fell down, he didn't do a single press conference after that. That was the last time that press conference has had. Mark Talley asked the question, are you ashamed for what has happened and do you apologize? That was the last press conference that Narasimha Rao had as a Prime Minister, and then after that elections and things like that. Did anybody call the others Godi Media? Did anybody say autocracy when it was Narasimha Rao? No. It all depends on whoever has access and whoever doesn't have access. Those who don't have access are to be labeled. So there is no point seeking it. As far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned, the point is that he did try in Nyaya Yatra 1. He had those YouTubers who he spoke to, but the most ridiculous thing that the India Alliance did was to have that hit list and that ban list that they did where they are not talking to certain journalists, which is the most bizarre thing because they have lost the platform to people who come and defend the first family of the Congress party without having the sanction of the Congress party, without having the official sanction or without knowing how the Congress party functions. They just come and randomly give their personal point of view, not the political point of view of a party.
And Padmaja, sadly, Sushant sitting next to me,
and this whole thing about...
FOMO हो रहा है क्योंकि I at least have a debate show. Sushant debate भी नहीं करता. They banned coming on his show. He doesn't invite anybody on his show. So it was एक के साथ एक free on the boycott list. Rather democratic, would you call it, Padmaja?
you know, let's be absolutely clear about a couple of things. We are talking about dictatorship and, you know, how some people are more open at a time. When yesterday, a YouTuber has been picked up by the Tamil Nadu government. Yesterday, there have been people who have been booked. I remember watching a press conference of Ashok Gehlot 3 weeks back, where he said कि तो पूरे देश में अब तानाशाही है. A reporter from a so-called non-Godi media channel stood up and said, "Sir, आपने मेरे घर पे पुलिस भेजी थी जब आप मुख्यमंत्री थे." And then Govind Dottasra sitting next to him said, "अरे वो पुरानी बात हो गई, छोड़ दीजिए." So we can have various, you know, interpretations of who is open, who is democratic. It's all very well being democratic when you literally handpick, Sushant, the people who will have access
इसमें एक चीज और है बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग कि हमने क्या पूछा, हमने कैसे पूछा, हमारी भाव भंगिमाएं क्या थी, हमारे चेहरे के भाव क्या थे, ये सब जज करने वाले वो लोग होंगे जो राहुल गांधी से एक जमाने में पूछते थे, राहुल जी आपने समोसा खाया, आपको समोसा कैसा लगा? राहुल जी आपने जलेबी खाई, आपको जलेबी कैसे लगी? आपको पास्ता बनाना आता है कि नहीं? सोनिया जी आप अपनी बहुओं को वो पास्ता बनाना सिखाती हैं कि नहीं? क्या करती हैं? ये लोग बताते हैं कि आज की डेट में सवाल कैसे पूछे जाने चाहिए और भाव क्या होना चाहिए।
नहीं, क्या आप लोगों ने ऐसा कोई सवाल नहीं पूछा?
नहीं, हमने कुछ नहीं पूछा।
ऐसा कोई सवाल आपने नहीं
हमने पास्ता के बारे में कुछ नहीं पूछा, हमने समोसा के बारे में भी नहीं पूछा और हमने फाफड़ा के बारे में भी नहीं पूछा।
सीएम से पूछा था आप इतने एनर्जी कैसी होती है?
What a waste! What a waste! Everyone was waiting with bated breath, but okay, let me get this back. You know, the other very important thing. You know, one thing that was very clear from the body language of all the excerpts that we've seen from this interview with Navika and Sushant is that the Prime Minister was not defensive. In fact, it seemed that he was going on the front foot. We already showed you the bit about the dictatorship. He went a step further because there was one specific question that Navika asked him. What about the foreign hand? What about, you know, these allegations that there is somebody who's trying to stall India's growth? I think what he has said should give us an idea of the roadmap of the next 100 days after the elections are over. Listen to this.
प्रधानमंत्री जी, लेकिन मैं दिमाग में एक सवाल आता है कि आप हर बार जब चुनावी रैली में जाते हैं, आप कहते हैं कि भारत मेरे तीसरे टर्म में 3 नंबर की इकोनॉमी बनेगा। आप देश को आगे ले जाने की बात कर रहे हैं, आप एक ग्रोथ ट्रैजेक्टरी पे डालने की बात कर रहे हैं। आपको नहीं लगता कि एक इकोसिस्टम होगा जो ये भारत की बढ़ोतरी को रोकने की कोशिश करेगा, सिर्फ देश में नहीं बाहर भी? और इनमें कुछ लिंक नजर आता है कुछ?
मुझे लगता है कि ये विरोध और जो तीव्रता है इसकी उम्र 4 जून तक है। 4 जून के बाद न उनकी हैसियत होगी न उनका हौसला होगा। और ये जो भी है, मैं देख रहा हूं पूरी दुनिया भारत के चुनाव को इन्फ्लुएंस करने के लिए कोशिश कर रही है।
Neerja ji, a lot of people have laughed off, you know, serious concerns, charges with Khalistani funding. The case that is registered just today, a recommendation has gone from the LG's office about Aam Aadmi Party being investigated for Khalistani funding, or people who are linked to that, following to that stream of thought. About NewsClick, do you think that the Prime Minister is basically putting them on notice, saying, after the 4th, your lifespan is over?
You know, I'm looking forward to this interview and see what the Prime Minister said on a whole host of subjects. Yes, it could be that the Prime Minister, he said he's already given hints that he's going to do some very dramatic things, very far-reaching steps. That's why the suspense in the country is today not on whether he's coming back to power, but the suspense is on what he's going to be doing in his 3rd term. But I want to say, just, you know, also reacting to earlier panelists, you know, this is not about media versus media. This is about media versus politicians. Media showing the aina, the mirror to politicians, which is our job to do. So I'm glad Navika has asked this question about Hitler, about Tana Shah, because that is the talk in large sections of the opposition and even amongst people when you go to the ground. They are worried कि 400 पार का मतलब क्या है? Does it mean constitution change? If so, what kind? Is it a presidential system? Does it mean we are headed towards one-party rule? These are concerns that people, and of course, the Dalit Tolas talk about Arakshan going for them. So these concerns must be reflected in any interview. I must say no politician and Prime Minister would like to face uncomfortable questions. You know that, I know that over the years. And of course, it must be said about the Prime Minister, the one time when I have, in 2015, when he met with the editor, Aat Das Bara, in groups, if you will recall, I remember in the group where I was, we were about 10, 12 of us. After 1.5 hours, we ran out of questions and he was there, to answer even the most uncomfortable of them. Therefore, I feel like Sabha says, it's one of my feelings also. I wish the Prime Minister had held a press conference before his second term got over. Maybe as he starts his third term, maybe he will. As for Rahul Gandhi, somebody said, neither Rahul Gandhi nor Narendra Modi, as far as some of us are concerned, will give interviews to. So, but that is why a press conference becomes very
Mr. Rajgopalan.
And in fact, I would just want to add to what Nija is saying, because it's not
Mr.
about my
Rajgopalan.
access. I don't do access journalism. I'm no longer a political editor. I don't need to do that. I'm speaking for the press fraternity as a whole, that you cannot limit this to a few journalists getting this. The same set of journalists, you must have an open press conference. You're elected in a democracy. So it is on those grounds that I would back up what Nija is saying. It's not about me, it's about everyone having a right to ask those questions.
Certainly, Sabha, everybody has a right to ask questions, and your point on press conferences is appreciated. But may I tell you, when Dr. Manmohan Singh held press conferences, some of us were there, but the questions were only allowed to some hand-picked journalists. So you can have a press conference, but only some hand-picked journalists get to ask the questions. Is that more fair, Smita?
I mean, it is still better, Navika. You can, because they also used to
ask me.
On region,
Ask me. I differ from you. I raised my hand every time, Harshvardhan ji, लेकिन मुझे सवाल पूछने का मौका नहीं दिया गया, क्योंकि मैं शायद इतनी blue-blooded नहीं थी.
No, that's true, Navika, that criticism, of course it's not fair.
Fair criticism.
Rahul, we go and cover the Yatra of Rahul Gandhi, Bharat Jodo. We're not allowed to have a word with him. It's not fair. I feel like that also. So it applies to all politicians. Therefore, I think this thing of, I feel very unhappy about this media versus media that we get into. We're all on the same side as far as putting politicians on the
back. To weigh in on this.
No, we're not. No, it's not. Can I come in?
Yes, Smita.
Yes, please go on.
Yeah, I have 2 points to make. One on which Padmaja said about the first 80 days. I think she is right. It seems like there's going to be a big battle ahead with regard to big tech, and there seems to be a conspiracy. There's no point talking about it now. I've done a show on this, that the number of articles and things, there's a complete study of foreign funding which has gone into certain articles in the Western media, all talking towards autocracy and discrediting the elections even before they began. That having been said about media being against media, Nija, of course, it's a utopian setup where some of us, old guard, would not like it that media goes against media. But the truth is that the media has never been one conglomerate. There's always been Delhi has always had one group which had access, one group group which didn't have access, and they went for each other. As far as the access journalism is concerned, and that earlier prime ministers, you have chronicled so many prime ministers, and each prime minister has his or her own style of dealing with the media, and they had their favorites, whether at press conference or one-on-one interview, right from Nehru onwards. I can give several books along with Nija's books which will show that. The other thing which I want to say is body language, which Sushant brought up. कि हम लोगों का आभाव कैसा है, महिमा भंग, whether we were sitting and smiling while asking, whether we were screwing up our eyes while asking, how was the prime minister's body language? Was he comfortable? If he was comfortable, it's Godi media. Why was he not tense? And always all of us are told, look at the way Karan Thapar interviewed Modi ji. That's how it was to be done. I want to repeat on your show that when he interviewed Modi, Modi was an opposition chief minister. So easy, isn't it, to put on the mat an opposition chief minister and have that style of questioning with screwed up eyes, and when you make the other person uncomfortable and say, where is it? I asked Modi when Modi was the chief minister of Gujarat the same question without screwing up my eyes and doing it. You can ask the same way. That's my style, that's Karan Thapar's style. But to say that his style is the best and my style is Godi or Navika's style was just too comfortable, or oh my God, Akshay Kumar asking about mangoes. Why? If Sonia Gandhi being asked about pasta is okay, then Akshay Kumar asking about mangoes is okay. Fine, Akshay Kumar is not a journalist, but so what? If you can go to YouTubers who are talking about doing food shows, who can go and interview Rahul Gandhi, then why can't Akshay Kumar interview the Prime Minister and ask about things? The democratization
I would say, Smita, Akshay Kumar asking about mangoes is a darn sight better than a journalist asking about the recipe of how to make pasta and how it tastes.
इसमें सभाजी भले कह रही हैं कि सॉरी नीरजा जी भले कह रही हैं कि पत्रकार के बीच की लड़ाई नहीं है, लेकिन ये सारा काम जो लोग आज दूसरों को गोदी मीडिया बुलाते हैं, ये उन लोगों ने शुरू किया। जब उन्होंने समोसे का स्वाद पूछा या पास्ता का टेस्ट पूछा, तो हम में से किसी ने उनको गोदी मीडिया नहीं कहा था। मैं तो ऐसे चैनल में काम कर चुका हूं जहां किसी बड़े नेता की पत्नी भी एडिटर थी और किसी बहुत बड़े अधिकारी की बहू जो है वो भी काम करती थी, लेकिन उसमें से किसी ने सवाल नहीं उठाया कि वो चैनल जो है वो निष्पक्ष काम कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है, क्योंकि ये लोग उन लोगों से जुड़े हैं जो सरकार के अंदर हैं। लेकिन आज 2014 के बाद जब उन लोगों को लगा कि उनके लिए वैसे दरवाजे नहीं खुले रह गए जैसे पहले खुले रहते थे, तो जो दूसरे लोग हैं वो उनको गोदी मीडिया दिखने लगे। राष्ट्रपति भवन में किसी चैनल का कार्यक्रम कैसे हो रहा था ये हमने कभी नहीं पूछा, लेकिन आज हमसे 10 तरह के सवाल पूछे जाते हैं। ये लेबलिंग जो है वो दूसरे पक्ष ने शुरू की, तब जाकर हमें सवाल उठाने पड़े और पूछना पड़ा।
मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता, और राजगोपालन जी ने कई देखे हैं। राजगोपालन जी, इफ आई वांट टू आस्क यू, where have these sides come in from? They never existed, and nobody is anyway waiting for the answers of the Prime Minister because they're busy looking and judging the journalists. All of us have been journalists. We've tried to get the best story and the best interview. That's how journalism has always worked. Are we even talking about what were the other questions that we asked the Prime Minister? Because that interview is going to come in the next 25 minutes. I want to tell you, we asked him questions on price rise, unemployment. We asked him questions on why is he attacking the Congress party on the manifesto and adding 2 and 2 together where, things have not been said on the manifesto. Why is he anti-minority? All of these questions have been asked to the Prime Minister. But are we over obsessing about what the media will say about our interview? Should we really be bothered about what people of India think about what the Prime Minister's responses are?
Navika and Sushant, congratulations to you. This debate is not against Navika or Sushant or against Modi. Ignore what Sabha said. You forget about that because she will say like that.
You're trying to take me on. You are insulting and rude to me repeatedly.
This is basically, see, we can have a difference of opinion about style of interviewing, but if somebody, I don't remember as somebody who watches zillions of interviews on YouTube, on television channels, of somebody raging at the interviewee and, attacking mocking them and abusing them. If that is the kind of interview style that is expected to show that you're impartial, that's just plain bad conduct. I want to move on from here to a very important issue, and an issue that everyone is talking about before the next phase of polling, that of reservations. Will reservations be done away with? Vis-a-vis what the Prime Minister and BJP say about Muslim quota being brought in surreptitiously by the Congress. Is this a communal tactic? Here's how the Prime Minister responded.
आप जब इस बार ये कह रहे हैं बार बार कि मोदी मर जाएगा लेकिन धर्म के नाम पर आरक्षण नहीं आने देगा, ये बड़ी स्ट्रांग लाइन है। और हमने पाठशाला में दिखाया था कि आप ये आज से नहीं कह रहे हैं, आपने गुजरात के सीएम रहते हुए भी ये चीज जग जाहिर की थी। आपको क्या खतरा दिखता है अगर धर्म के नाम पर आरक्षण आए या मुसलमानों को आरक्षण मिल जाए?
इसमें मोदी मुद्दा ही नहीं है। जिस समय संविधान बन रहा था, देश के गणमान्य लोग संविधान सभा में बैठे थे।
Mr. Rajgopalan, is the government now clear that they are going to double down on this allegation in the next 5 phases also, from what the PM said?
No, from PM is very confident. After watching tidbits what you are now trickling out, I have to wait for the full interview. You have given it an hype. You have been doing a very journalistic job. But from that, I can make out, Padmaja, that Prime Minister is very confident. He is more confident than across the 400, up ki bar, 400 ki par. That you can see. Though I am proud to say that I am a Godi media, Narendra Modi media, still, Mr. Narendra Modi has shown immense confidence. That is the way in which a politician should behave. Apart from that, Navika asked a question about Revanna. That type of question should be asked with the Prime Minister. And moreover, why the Congress manifesto has been focusing on Muslims. So that also a very fast question. Prime Minister has answered very quietly and, with the, command in his style of reply. Therefore, I am more eager to see the full interview. I don't want to get involved in tutu meme. We cannot abuse our own media fraternity. So I end with that. And congratulations, Navika and Sushant.
Yes.
Well, very well said, Rajgopalanji. But one thing that I also want to share, not only Padmaja did the Prime Minister take the questions head on and answer them. This interview and all 80 minutes of this interview were unique in the sense that there is a myriad of emotions that he went through. And that's what I mean, that he was probably in a different kind of a mood. We've met the Prime Minister, at least I have met him on several occasions since 2007. And the first time I interviewed him in 2007 was when the Maut Ka Saudagar comment was made and the entire Delhi media was in Ahmedabad trying to follow his rath. Harshvardhan ji, aapko yaad hoga. I didn't know him from Adams. I had never covered the BJP till then. I was a reporter who had always covered ministries, policies and parliament. Never a political party. And I followed his rath, a non-entity who he didn't know. I was called into the rath and given an interview. And that was probably the only interview that election season that he gave the Delhi media. From there on, 17 years later to this interview, the difference that I found was that Modi, very confident even then in 2007, very confident today in 2024, but the change that I saw was he was relaxed when he was talking to us. It was an interview, but it wasn't stiff. And he was answering, and the emotions from a very emotional moment on a couple of questions that we asked him. One that Sushant asked him about his mother, one that I asked him about his relationship with Kashi. He was emotional. There were some questions where he laughed out aloud, and no holds barred laughter. Some questions where he was extremely aggressive. So, Padmaja, that is one takeaway that I came away with, that this was a man who was free and going through. It didn't seem to me, and I'm sure it didn't seem to you, Sushant, कि कोई मेकअप या मेडअप या रिहर्स्ड काइंड ऑफ एक्सप्रेशंस थे, इमोशंस का फ्री फ्लो था, और दैट इज समथिंग that we saw the various sides of Narendra Modi in an interview in a span of 80 minutes that maybe nobody's ever seen before.
Sushant, do you also want to weigh in on this? Because I want to point out to our viewers, I think in the last week, प्रधानमंत्री जो हैं वापस दिल्ली आए नहीं हैं। वो एक राज्य से दूसरे राज्य, रात को वो राजभवन में ठहर रहे थे। आई थिंक काफी वक्त के बाद, 5-6 दिनों के बाद वो वापस राजधानी में आए थे। आपको इंटरव्यू दिया, फिर भी कोई थकावट नहीं, रिलैक्स। व्हाट डू यू टेक अवे फ्रॉम दैट, सुशांत?
पद्मजा, इसमें एक चीज हमें यह भी ध्यान रखनी होगी कि प्रधानमंत्री की ऊर्जा पे सवाल पूछने पे कई लोग जो है वो थोड़ा परेशान हो जाते हैं, लेकिन ये सच में एक स्टडी का विषय है, क्योंकि वो 73 साल की उम्र के हैं और उनकी आधी उम्र के नेताओं के वीडियो ट्विटर पर आ रहे हैं जिनको पुलिस वाले टांग कर ले जा रहे हैं क्योंकि वो गर्मी की वजह से उनको चक्कर आ गया, जो आ गया। उसमें कुछ गलत नहीं है, लेकिन एक आदमी इस उम्र में अगर 3-3 रैली कर रहे हैं, वो ये कह रहे हैं कि मैं तो 6 कर सकता हूं लेकिन एसपीजी की वजह से 3 कर रहा हूं, वो लगातार ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं, और उसके बावजूद जो एनर्जी लेवल हमने देखा, जो नाविका कह रही है कि जो रेंज ऑफ इमोशंस हमने देखे, कहीं कोई थकान नहीं। अच्छा, एक चीज और मैं दर्शकों को बताऊं, क्योंकि हम लोग पत्रकार कई बार बॉडी लैंग्वेज रीड करते हैं कि सामने वाला जो है, जब हम पूछ रहे हैं कि भाई 2 फेज में क्या हुआ नहीं हुआ, हमारी एक इनफॉर्मल बातचीत भी हुई इंटरव्यू के पहले 5-10 मिनट, उसमें भी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की जो बॉडी लैंग्वेज हम रीड कर रहे थे, कहीं से चुनाव का तनाव उनके दिमाग में या उनके चेहरे पर दिख ही नहीं रहा था। सो विच इज अ साइन कि वो कॉन्फिडेंट सिर्फ दिखने का प्रयास नहीं कर रहे हैं, वो कॉन्फिडेंट हैं, और वो इस इंटरव्यू में जब आप देखेंगी तो आपको वो चीज नजर आएगी।
It's very interesting you mentioned that because Neerja ji, you would know that Congress actually released a video 2 days ago कि प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जो है सुबह उठ करके ब्रेकफास्ट में 30,000 रुपए के मशरूम खाते हैं। So that's the reason why he is so energetic. प्रियंका गांधी, I heard her in one of her rallies. She said कि you know उनकी मुंह पे एकदम चमक रहती है। So it's interesting that even that's become a political talking point.
Neerja, that question was to you.
You're asking me. You know, I was going to ask Navika this question. Did you ask him where he gets his energy from? Because
No,
one
I
of the
didn't.
things people talk about is 24/7 politician. And how
I've committed the cardinal sin of not asking this particular question, where he gets his energy from. But you know, Neerja ji, I've worked with you in the Indian Express, and you were way senior to us, and we would always look at you almost reverentially at that time when we were new into the newsroom. But I want to share with you, and Harshvardhan ji, aapke saath bhi, when I met him first in 2007 for the first time in that Rath for a period of 15-20 minutes. Even then, when I came away, my first response in the newsroom was that this man has an aura around him, and this aura kind of, and these are not journalistic impressions, these are just human impressions. इंटरव्यू हो गया, भेज दिया, चल गया, और आप वापस आते हैं तो अपने कोवर्कर्स के साथ डिस्कस करते हैं कि क्या लगा। तो मैंने यही कहा था, ये ऑरा तब भी था और ये ऑरा अब भी है।
क्योंकि मैं तो उस वक्त दूसरे बिजनेस चैनल में था और मुझे वो आपका इंटरव्यू याद है 2007 का, क्योंकि वो इलेक्शन मैंने भी कवर किया था पूरा, और उसका 2008 का जो अहमदाबाद ब्लास्ट था वो भी मैंने कवर किया था। और सचमुच प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की, जिसको कहते हैं जो रिस्पॉन्स टाइम है, जो एनर्जी है, वो कमाल है। लेकिन मेरी एक बड़ी मुश्किल होती है, हम जिसको कहते हैं कि मीडिया वर्सेज मीडिया नहीं हो, लेकिन देश के प्रधानमंत्री को एक बड़ा वर्ग है जो उनके इमोशंस की भी कदर नहीं करता है। जो मतलब मेरी समझ में नहीं आता है कि क्या जैसे हम देश के प्रथम प्रधानमंत्री पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू से लेकर मनमोहन सिंह के इमोशंस की कदर करते थे, क्या देश के प्रधानमंत्री 2-2 बार चुने गए, इतने जिसको कहते हैं ना कि एब्सोल्यूट मेजॉरिटी से चुने गए, उस नेता के इमोशंस की भी हम कदर नहीं करते, उसका मजाक बनाते हैं, और उसके बाद हम कहते हैं कि नहीं नहीं, ये तो एक गोदी मीडिया जैसा टर्म क्रिएट कर दिया गया। तो मुझे लगता है कि ठीक है, आपको सवाल जो पूछने, अगर वो क्वेश्चंस नहीं पूछे जा रहे हैं तो बिल्कुल मीडिया पर सवाल होने ही चाहिए। और मैं भी ये मानता हूं जो नीरजा जी कह रही कि मीडिया वर्सेज मीडिया तो कतई नहीं होना चाहिए, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली एक बड़ा वर्ग है जो इसको क्रिएट करता है। मैं फिर कह रहा हूं, आज का भी ये इंटरव्यू आएगा तो इसके सवालों पर बात होनी चाहिए, प्रधानमंत्री के जवाबों पर बात होनी चाहिए, लेकिन ये कैसे सवाल जवाब होगा कि नहीं नविका ने तो कुछ ऐसा किया नहीं कि पीएम को गुस्सा आ जाए, या सुशांत ने थोड़ा टेढ़ा सवाल क्यों नहीं पूछा। क्या जर्नलिस्ट के तौर पर हम पीएम से या सीएम से या किसी से भी हम उसको चिढ़ाने के लिए इंटरव्यू कर रहे होते हैं? ये किसी की एक शैली हो सकती है, किसी की स्टाइल हो सकती है, ये जर्नलिज्म नहीं हो सकता।
इसमें एक चीज मैं जोड़ूं, स्मिता जी आप भी उसमें अगर बोलना चाहें, कि प्रधानमंत्री ने इस बात का जिक्र किया, उन्होंने कहा कि एक पूरा इकोसिस्टम जो है ये वो दबाव बनाने का काम करता है, और उन्होंने कहा कि मुझे इस बात से अफसोस है। उन पे तो दबाव बनता नहीं, लेकिन उन्होंने कहा कि मुझे अफसोस है कि आप लोगों पर भी वो दबाव बन जाता है, क्योंकि आप लोग उनके चक्कर में 4 सवाल ऐसे पूछते हैं जो आपको कम से कम उनको लगे कि हाँ ये ऐसा पूछा कि नरेंद्र मोदी कुछ फंसा कि नहीं फंसा, ये वाली आप कोशिश करते हैं, और उस चक्कर में 4 ऐसे सवाल जो देश के महत्व के हो सकते थे वो आप पूछना रह जाता है। मिस
बिल्कुल, द इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट इज दैट इवन दिस इशू उनके जहन में था और उन्होंने इसकी बात की कि भाई और कुछ पूछना है, नहीं तो कहीं पिट विट जाओगे। यू नो दैट वाज द अंडरलाइंग सेंटिमेंट दैट ही एक्सप्रेस, कि आप लोग पर बहुत दबाव रहेगा कि आपने सवाल कैसे पूछे। लेकिन मैं ये कहूंगी कि एक बड़ा वर्ग और बहुत कुछ बदला है। पहले न्यूज़पेपर्स और मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया में टेलीविजन चैनल्स हुआ करते थे, ऑल इंडिया रेडियो वगैरह हुआ करते थे। अब सोशल मीडिया के आने के बाद ये तादाद जर्नलिस्ट की इतनी बदल गई है, शायद इसीलिए मीडिया वर्सेस मीडिया हो रहा है, क्योंकि सो कॉल्ड जर्नलिस्ट, हम जैसे पुराने घिसे हुए जर्नलिस्ट के बारे में भी अपनी व्यूज एक्सप्रेस करते हैं। ये अच्छा है बुरा है मैं नहीं जानती।
मुझे लगता है कि इसका एक सचमुच स्टडी होनी चाहिए, कंपैरिजन होना चाहिए कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी ने 10 सालों में कितने इंटरव्यूज दिए कितने जर्नलिस्ट को, और पहले
नहीं मेरी आवाज शायद म्यूट है, आप कह रहे हैं
आप म्यूट नहीं है, कभी नहीं हो सकता।
यही तो काम है मीडिया का, क्रिटिसाइज करना। मीडिया का काम तारीफ करना नहीं है, जहां तक मैं समझती हूँ। हो सकता है कि मेरी परवरिश गलत मीडिया में हुई, धमकी भी मुझे मिलती है, सिक्योरिटी नहीं मिलती है, लेकिन मैं बात
में मिलती है, सामाजिक धमकियां हमें भी मिलती हैं,
अभी तक
ऑपोजिशन रोल से
आप नहीं, आप मुझे लगा बहुत बार हम और आप एक ही हम लोग अग्रीमेंट में होते हैं। आज आप ये कह रहे हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री के इमोशंस का लेना देना है नहीं, हमारा काम है हार्ड क्वेश्चंस पूछना।
नहीं, पर हार्ड की परिभाषा क्या है ये कोई और तय नहीं करेगा ना, कि हार्ड की परिभाषा क्या है।
जहां तक मैं जानती हूं,
we can wait for the interview. I am pretty certain.
बिल्कुल क्लियर है, कोई भी हो इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट।
We can wait for the interview. Let us not preempt. Okay, let us not preempt that these questions were asked or not. I think Smita also wanted to come in. Smita.
Yeah, a couple of points that I want to make. When Navika says that, because of social media, now there are no heroes, which is true. I think all our heroes are shown of veneer, whether it is some of our actors who have said bizarre things, or their reality has come in, and some of our revered journalists whose truth has come out about them. So I think there are no more heroes. The second point is when Nija asked Navika that did you ask him the source of your energy? And Navika said, I think I didn't ask him. Now this, I can think of 2 reasons why Navika didn't do it. If I was to go into Navika's mind, one was a self-censorship, because she's a little worried that if I ask this, I will be categorized as I'm just preempting Navika, so just hear me out. I will be put in the same level as Akshay Kumar of Aam Kaise Khate Hain. One could be that, and the second part could be, which is possibly true, is that you have met him several times, so you know this is not new. A person who's the first time who will go to meet him, or the first time opportunity to interview him, would get fascinated and ask that question automatically. Ki ye energy kaise? How do you have this that you're doing several rallies in a day as compared to the others who do just one rally a day? So that is another point. The second one I want to talk about is about fasawing. What Sushant said, that हम जब इंटरव्यू करते हैं, there are two reasons. Either you want content, and especially for me who works for an agency, I will ask 30 questions out of which I want so much content that all my subscribers get some content or the other for their channel, for their portal, for their newspaper. So content चाहिए, ना कि दूसरे साइड को फंसाने की. You know, I don't understand that kind of journalism. But yes, ask the hard questions, but get the content. The second one is about obsequiousness. You know, how some of us are, that our body languages when we ask Narendra Modi ji, should we ask like that, say Narendra Modi ji, ऐसे करके पूछना चाहिए. I have seen same journalists saying Mamta Didi, Mamta Di, Mamta Di. But when it comes to Amit Shah, अगर कहीं गलती से हमने अमित भाई बोल दिया, देखा, look at the camaraderie she has with the home minister. Amit bhai bol diya, Amit ji nahi bola, ya home minister ji nahi bola. You know, so you can really pass every interview and scratch it down to absolute criticism without having a fair and just mind in judging an interview.
Okay, you know, I think when we have to analyze body language, we will look at the interview in its entirety. Obviously, you cannot make everyone happy or please everyone. There will still be critics who will say that your smile was crooked, or you smiled too much, or you didn't smile enough, or you were looking very happy while interviewing. Be that as it may, there was an interesting point that Navika and Sushant mentioned about how he spoke about Kashi. I want to play that out because it's very significant. In 2014, we had covered his nomination, the Prime Minister, when he went to file his nomination, and that's when, remember, he had famously said कि ना मैं आया हूँ, ना मैं यहाँ आया हूँ, मुझे यहाँ गंगा माँ ने बुलाया है. He's again spoken about his bond with Kashi. Let's listen into what he said.
2 फेज के चुनाव तो हो चुके हैं. आपका नामांकन और कुछ नामांकन भी डरते डरते चलते चलते हो गए हैं, और आपका नामांकन कब हो रहा है, और काशी से ये जो आपका नाता है, ये काशी का नाता आपके लिए क्या मायने रखता है?
एक माँ बेटे का जैसा
रिश्ता,
वो रिश्ता मैं मेरी काशी के साथ.
Neeja ji, about your comments on this whole Kashi connection, the fact that he was the first person who was in the first list of the BJP when they started putting it out for the Lok Sabha, and the way he speaks about Varanasi as his mother.
You know, I'm not, I disagree with Sabha on the emotion part, you know, that we don't want to know the emotion. An interview is supposed to tell us more about our Prime Minister. What does he think? How does he react to an issue? As far as issues are concerned, you can even get press notes. You know, on China, this is the policy of the government. On reservation, this is the policy. That can come. But it's the human side, the emotional side of the Prime Minister, what he breaks down or doesn't break down. He's happy about something. He's militant and aggressive about something else. It tells us more about the man who rules us. So the interviews are very important to me. The second point I wanted to make is that I agree with, I'm also old school journalist. I feel interviews are meant to draw the person out, not to trip them. You may get a scoop in the process of drawing the person out.
Sabha?
No, I mean, I get what Neeja is saying, and I'm not saying interviews are meant to be a hostile attack. But I'm just saying that, no, I don't think Neeja understood. Harshvardhan ji was saying we have to look out for his feelings, if I understood correctly. Maybe I'm mistaken. He said, unke ki, how can we keep criticizing? I think it's essential to keep our government on the vigil. I mean, he's the PM. Right? So this is our chance to say you are being accused, for instance, hypothetically, I don't know, but it seems like a much more interesting interview than one which was done a week ago, which was so bland that I just I tried, but I believe it has pathetic amount of views also in another network. So YouTubers, ordinary YouTubers are getting more views than that interview. So this one sounds much with greater potential. There are news points which are covered, and I look forward to following it. What Harshvardhan ji said, and I will ask his, if I've made an error, he seemed to suggest that a PM's feelings have to be respected. Yeah, up to a point, yes, but ultimately we are there to art the heart.
I think he can respond.
Yeah, sure.
नहीं पद्मजा, मुझे लगता है कि इसमें कहीं कोई हमारा उनका कोई अलग अलग व्यू नहीं है। जो सभा कह रही, मैं भी वही कह रहा हूं। लेकिन मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि क्या प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी दूसरे प्राइम मिनिस्टर से अलग हो जाते हैं मीडिया के लिए? क्या हमारे अंदर जो प्रिजुडिस है वो थोड़ा हावी हो जाता है? हम शायद आज भी प्राइम मिनिस्टर के तौर पे उस तरह से ट्रीट नहीं करते हैं। मुझे लगता है वहां जाके मीडिया को भी थोड़ा सा इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करना चाहिए। लेकिन हाँ, सवाल कड़े होने चाहिए, बिल्कुल जवाब आने चाहिए। लेकिन इसके पक्ष में मैं नहीं हूं कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर से आप बात कर रहे हो और उसमें थोड़ा रूडनेस हो, थोड़ी बदतमीजी हो, तब तक वो इंटरव्यू नहीं। मैं इसे नहीं मानता हूं।
And some of the most
and there have been countless books that have been written which have been very enriching when somebody writes a biography. For example, Neja ji's book, it talks about prime ministers in their very vulnerable moments, people who could not be prime minister, Babu Jagjeevan Ram, when he ultimately could not be made prime minister, how they reacted, how Narasimha Rao reacted. It talks about their vulnerabilities as well. Does it make you less of a journalist to talk about their emotional and human side? I don't know. The viewers and the readers can best decide that. पर हर्षवर्धन जी, जो काशी वाला बात बताई प्राइम मिनिस्टर में, बिकॉज आप यूपी से ही हैं, उसके बारे में
नहीं, मुझे लगता है काशी, देखिए कई बार होता है ना, आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी तय करते हैं, उसकी अलग अलग वजहें होती हैं। लेकिन जो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने पहली बार जब वहां वो गए थे और उनका वो भाषण सबको याद है, उसके बाद उन्होंने एक चिट्ठी लिखी थी अपनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी के लोगों को सांसद के तौर पर, उन्होंने जो कहा था कि मुझे मां गंगा ने बुलाया है। काशी विश्वनाथ धाम और गंगा, अगर कोई भी जो 10 साल पहले काशी को देखता था, जो आज देखता है, तो समझ पाएगा कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का कनेक्ट क्या है। उन्होंने उस शहर को किस तरह से सजाया संवारा है और उसकी संस्कृति, उसके कल्चर के साथ छेड़छाड़ किए बिना, मुझे लगता है ये किसी के लिए भी, आप किसी भी नॉर्मल कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी को जाते हैं तो उसको कैसे नर्चर करना है, उसको कैसे आगे बढ़ाना है, एक सांसद के तौर पर आपका व्यवहार कैसे होना चाहिए, यह भी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी से सीखना चाहिए।
And the filing of his nomination itself is going to be a very, very important day. Just before the third phase, he went to Ayodhya, he went, and paid his respect to Lord Ram. And then the filing of his nomination itself, Mr. Rajgopalan, is going to be a huge moment.
I think he ran away because of me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sabha.
No, I don't think he's there.
He didn't. Go on, Sabha. Yes.
I mean, he's a very, but he always does tend to say very rude things to me. So I will apologize to you all and my viewer and your viewers. But he has said some very disturbing things. Anyway, forget that. The point is, I have covered Modi's ascent into, it's a very large section of my book on the BJP, for which a revised edition has come out. His takeover of Banaras, of Kashi. It was a very interesting, very mega campaign, and it certainly continued, to date. So it is an event in Kashi, and the choice of Kashi was also significant because he was coming out of Gujarat and all of that. And so it was symbolically important, and, one has analyzed all that. So yes, it is his, the election so far, because I've been traveling in UP, I feel that some of the BJP is annoyed with the BJP. In many seats. So he would like to have a charge again, have the drama again, create the emotion again. And I'm sure he's working towards that. And Kashi is a symbolic place. But there is a sort of, so that's all. Let's see how this election proceeds in the future. Yeah. Thank you.
Can I come in?
Okay, we are heading into the third phase, and before that you're going to see this blockbuster interview in just a minute from now. Neja ji, final word.
Yeah, I think, for the Prime Minister to have chosen Varanasi in 2014, in addition to Gujarat, Vadodara, was a very far-reaching decision, to understand that politically, that Uttar Pradesh is so central to power in India, and that too in Uttar Pradesh, that the religious cultural capital, to go for it and to have the courage to say, I'm going to stand from there, and then to identify himself with it, and 10 years down the line remain popular. I mean, it is not only the emotional side of it. It is also hard politics, understanding that.
Smita, final word.
Yeah, I think it is beyond, and I don't want to say it's a drama. That's a wrong categorization in my opinion. I think Modi is a very spiritual person. His spirituality is not in silos from his politics. His spirituality and politics are mixed together. It's one entity in his being. So when he does his politics, the spirituality comes along with that. It's always been like that for him from the very beginning. You might disagree about how he runs his government or how he ran his government, but that's how he is. So going to Kashi to file his nomination was something that came naturally to him, whether in 2014-19 and which is coming now. It's not, I mean, he could go to Kedarnath, he can go to Ayodhya, wherever, but to go to the oldest living city in the world on this planet, I think it is significant that he is trying to send a message also from the very beginning about India's ancient history, which is a part of our democracy too, tied to our democracy.
All right. Thanks very much, all ladies, Mr. Rajgopalan, Harshvardhan ji, for joining us with your wisdom. Like I said, minutes left. Stay tuned. The Prime Minister on Times Now coming up. Thanks for watching.